All right, well, welcome back to South Asian Overground, Season 3.
Nice.
And we are here in a brand new location with our first guest, Nishanti. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having
So,
us.
for those of you that are not privy to mine and Nish's or Nishanti's voice notes, I tend to start talking in a northern accent at the start of the voice note. Nish then follows with the northern accent.
Because you can't not, man.
You
You've got
can't
to
not.
replicate the sounds that we go with.
Exactly.
You can not.
It's all about making each other feel held, you know?
Exactly, that's it. That's the beauty of accents. You got to accommodate each other.
Exactly. So Nish is co-founder of En Route, the beautiful location that we are in today and we are going to be in for the whole podcast. And En Route is a South Asian vegan restaurant and it's delicious.
Nice.
And it has cute cups too.
And coconuts.
And coconuts and little cute bits and bobs. And we're going to get into En Route and how you founded it and everything and the ethos behind it a little bit later on in the podcast. But I've got to start off with the big question. Nish, where are you from?
Oh, born and raised South London, Indian of origin, from Gujarat, via East Africa. Mum's from Zimbabwe and dad's from Kenya. So cultural cohesion of bits and bobs, and lived and worked and studied all over. So yeah, French, Spanish, South America elements. But yeah, South London's the home and the heart.
South London's the home.
Born in Tooting.
You're quite eloquent in accents, as we know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us your best French accent.
Bah, c'est mieux de juste parler en français parce qu'il faut en avoir plusieurs cordes à son arc, n'est-ce
All right,
pas?
relax.
Okay.
What did you just say?
I said it's all about having levels to the personality. That's why languages are so beautiful.
Beautiful. And then did you say you've lived in Italy? No.
No, I haven't lived in it.
Where else have you lived?
I've lived in South America, so like Venezuela, Guyana.
Yes.
Yeah, those two places mainly.
Did you say somewhere else in Europe, though?
France, quite a lot in
I'm
France.
sure you said something else.
Spain.
Yeah, did you say Spain?
I haven't lived in Spain, but
Can
I've
you
been
speak
there
Spanish?
extensively. Sí, hablo español, claro.
See,
I
that's
lived
all.
in Venezuela for like 6-7 months, so
There you go.
that'll do it.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
So how often would you say you get asked this question and how does it make you feel? Because some people find it quite offensive and jarring. I don't mind it personally because I'm all here for promoting my sun-kissed skin.
And that is?
That is beautiful sun-kissed, half Indian, half English from Manchester.
Fresh
skin.
from a holiday.
Fresh from a holiday, maybe. Just came back from Dubai, maybe. I'm just like this naturally. But for real, how do you feel about it when people ask you that question? Do you find it offensive? Do you not?
What, as to where
Yeah.
one is from? I think it's beautiful. I used to kind of be a bit put away by it, especially when I moved to France when I was young, when I was like 18 and didn't really understand anybody asking where you're from, because for me it's like, I'm from London. What do you mean, where am I from?
Yeah.
Isn't that clear that I'm from London? But now I'm like, let's get ready. Like, how long we got? We got a minute, we got 30 seconds, we got 10 minutes. Because like, I love telling the story because, I mean, like, we're all part of a journey. We all have a story and it's nice to tell. And yeah, I love telling it because the older I grow, I'm like, wow, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just like, oh yeah, I'm like here and that's it.
Yeah.
So like my generations have gone everywhere. I mean, I was talking to my great uncle not too long ago and he was like, yeah, we were the first Indians to go to Yemen. And I was like, Yemen? What? Like, we went via Yemen. I was like, okay, Yemen, wicked.
Yeah, man.
That's another
There's going to be a
little
lot of that.
added cultural element that I can add to my personality.
Yeah, for sure. So what is the story then in terms of
So
your upbringing, your moving around a lot and your heritage?
yeah, I mean, like I say, India's the root. Then like Indians, a lot of people got sent all over the world as part of like the Hindustani movement. My parents, well, grandparents, great-grandparents were sent from India to East Africa. Obviously, that was like the nearest place to go.
Yeah.
My dad was born in Kenya. My mum was born in Zimbabwe. They came to London where they were like teenagers to study. My dad like forged his dad's signature
Nice.
to come into the UK. My dad came with like £18 to his name, spent £10 on a train ticket to Coventry, had £8 in his pocket. And then, just leveled up in life. Got involved in that London struggle that we are so grateful for our parents to have like got involved in. And kind of built himself a little London empire all around South. You know, when he came to London, it was straight into South. He moved straight into Brixton. That was his first base. Wandsworth, And then Merton is where he is now. And I myself, like I say, just like born in South in Tooting. I just love traveling. I think like I've just always had it in my head that I wanted to study French at the University of Leeds, and I wanted to go South America. So
I love that you were so specific. I want to study French at the University of Leeds.
Yeah, I just wanted to go Leeds.
I didn't get into Leeds. I didn't get into Leeds, got into Cardiff.
Oh, hold tight, Cardiff though.
Yeah,
my dad went uni in Cardiff.
No,
actually.
I know, but like the best part was I was like, right, I'm going to go to uni in Leeds. That's where I want to go. And I didn't pick Bristol as one of my choices because my mum was like, that's too far. I ended up in Cardiff. That's like way more far.
But hold tight, Cardiff, hold tight, Wales.
Hold tight, Wales. Can't do a Welsh accent though, unfortunately.
Cardiff. I can just say Wales.
Wales, exactly. That's about it. But that's an amazing story that your dad came here. First of all, forged his dad's signature. Love that.
Yeah, because dad didn't want him to even come, to be honest.
Yeah, love a bit of naughty activity. We need that. Everyone's forged a signature. Come on. And with £18. Because I just think these stories are wild. Like, my grandparents drove here.
Yeah.
How do you drive here from India?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you even do that?
Have you seen there's this docu about these guys who drive from Bradford to Pakistan?
No.
Back in the day in transit vans because they were worth loads of money over there.
Yeah.
Watch it, it's great. The Bradford accent, they're proper like British, Bradford, confused identity people like ourselves.
Like us. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Because I don't know what I'm doing, who I am.
Whereas now you can't even tell someone, like, people wouldn't be able to drive to France.
No, I know.
But yeah, big up the journey.
Can't get from south to friggin' north
London.
anymore. Yeah,
Can't
London.
even cross the river.
God, that's a thing for me. I'm I said this to you when we like met properly. I was like, I'm crossing the river.
Yeah.
This is serious. We're in Peckham, by the way.
But
listeners.
South.
And in terms of kind of being South Asian, but then living in East Africa, a lot of people don't realise that there are a lot of brown people in East Africa. I was listening to a podcast about it recently. Empire, Big Up Empire podcast. That's not an ad, by the way. If they want to sponsor me, that's fine. They can. But yeah, wild. Like, why do people not know that?
I think people just don't know too much about like the movement of people. Like, people are moving now. People have been moving since day dot. I think movement of people is just the best thing we can have.
Yeah.
And in Kenya, they've opened up the borders. No visa needed.
Really?
So just if you want to go Kenya, just move there tomorrow. No
I
qualms.
wouldn't mind actually going to Kenya.
Yeah.
Never been.
Good fruits, wicked beaches, and banging food.
And you were also saying when I came and chatted to you for the first time that a lot of people don't think you're South Asian. They like look at you and maybe like the way you dress or something sometimes, and they're like, "What? You're South Asian?"
Yeah, I think it's just the identity crisis that is what it is. You know, I think I just represent a lot. I got like a Thailand T-shirt. I got red, yellow, grey. I don't know. I got these
just wearing what you want.
Just wear what I want. I mean, I just think people always like looking to put a name or have an attachment of an identity to something because they need to know.
Yeah.
But like, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
And if you need to know, ask the question. I'll give you a 10-minute spiel.
Yeah, exactly. Or longer.
If you want
a longer
If you got the
spiel.
time, if you've got an hour podcast, bim.
Yeah, cue cards, everything. You know, very, very serious.
Cue cards
I
and
was
coconuts.
thinking though, like I should have got like my podcast logo like on the cue cards to make it a bit more serious rather than this little like.
Purple's a nice colour.
It's my favourite colour actually. So on the South Asian topic, how would you say your connectedness to your South Asianness is? Like, would you say you feel connected to being South Asian? Not, sort of, very?
I mean, I definitely grew up not really understanding, acknowledging or understanding like my South Asian roots. I was talking to my brother Harsh. I don't really think I even knew what South Asian meant or that I was South Asian until like 2020 COVID times. And it took for me to go to like South America, Guyana and Suriname to like embrace and understand and value my Hinduism and B, like my Indian root. I was saying to my, like, Diwali was going on and like, I was like to my mum, I was like, yo, like, I'm in Suriname. I didn't even know there's Indians here.
Yeah.
But like, Diwali is popping. Like, they had, like, it was just a wicked party. And I was like, wow, okay, these Indians have moved here and they're somehow connected to their roots. And it kind of made sense to me. And to be honest, even just like having built En route, which started out as like Indian fusion, international confusion. And it's now like Indian-inspired vegan cuisine. We've become more Indian as the journey's gone on. We used to sell a lot of like South American items because I'd just come back from South America when I started en route. So yeah, the business has definitely like kind of given a good like surge in like Indian identity, South Asian understanding, and just reconnect back to the root because that's where we're coming from.
En route.
En route, because we're all going somewhere.
Exactly. And your roots. That actually leads me very nicely onto my next question, segueing on, which is one of my favourite things to say. I like to say, I'm segueing on.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, do you feel that En route was born from a place of wanting to connect more, or you just wanted to do it and then it's made you connect more? Or both?
I think more so the latter. I mean, definitely like the aim was more so just to like give people good, wholesome, healthy food that was affordable, just because it didn't seem to be apparent when I moved back to London.
Yes, that's very true.
Having gone uni and realised like, you people just don't know how to cook. Like people literally don't know how to fend for themselves when you're at university. It's like, how do you not know how to like, I don't know, cook food, like just literally nourish yourself. So just that realization just made me wanting to like really like give and provide food and drink and like revitalize and nourish people. So that was like the main rationale at the beginning. And then, I think it's just been good to get that back from the business, which is just like understanding the self, which is obviously just the aim and intention of life. Yeah,
because also if you're creating something and you're putting something out there for people to share and enjoy, of course you have to have an understanding of it, naturally.
Of course.
Like for me doing this podcast, I've had to learn a lot because I've got a podcast about being South Asian and I didn't know a lot of stuff about being South Asian.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the purpose of doing it.
Of course.
But totally. And I was quite interested about the sort of pigeonholing stereotype thing because you're a South Asian guy with a South Asian restaurant. Do you feel like that comes with a certain stereotype or like, I have to stay in this box because, I'm brown and I've got a restaurant that serves Indian-inspired food?
I think we get away with it by being en route. Like we're not very like stereotypical in any way. Like I think any person that comes in here, be they from like the Caribbean or South America, they'll find elements that they kind of like attract to them. And I'm sure like people walk in here and don't even necessarily think it's Indian half the time because there's so many random items in and around.
Yeah, I love it though.
But there's like slap it about, and like for me it feels pretty damn desi in the place. But,
I agree with you.
But again, perception is reality. I think people just come in here, they see like young coconuts and they see like yellow and green and then just think Jamaica. A lot of people think we're Guyanese, like Trinidad, kind of those kind of places, which kind of like, in some roundabout way, is kind of a thing that I definitely feel attracted to as a personality because despite being Indian via East Africa, I've lived in Guyana and South America a lot. I'm born in and around South, like Brixton and sound system and reggae culture has been a massive influence. So in that regard, if someone thinks I'm Guyanese or Trini, why not? I'll take it. I take it. Whatever someone says that they think I am, I'll take it. I love it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going back to that question I asked at the start where people ask you, like, where are you from? And maybe making an assumption about where you're from. I feel like it's a compliment in a way. A lot of people don't think I'm Indian. They might be like, are you Brazilian or are you Italian or something like that? I'm like, I see that. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense.
Of course. And to be honest, they're probably more time just like intrigued. And you can always just ask back the question and just say, like, where do you think I'm from? Because that's always fun as well.
That is
you
a
have
fun
it all the
one.
time because then, Brazilian, yeah. That.
And you just pretend. And you're like, I am Brazilian,
Fala
actually.
Portuguese.
Yeah. You sound like my friend Edna in my acting class. She's Portuguese. That's how I sound.
Good. I mean, if I sound like an actor who speaks Portuguese, then it must be authentic.
It's a hard accent to do. Because it's quite like throat. I'm gonna stop.
Sounds like Russian. That's the thing. I've lived in Brazil a little bit as well, and to be honest, I listen to a lot of Brazilian music, and there's definitely like I just love the accent. Love singing it. Love saying it. Yeah. Big up Brazil.
I'm going to Brazil. It's like Sao Paulo, Baile, funk. Night in a few weeks. I'm quite gassed about it, you know, because they know how to move, but so do we.
Yeah.
South Asians, we know how to move. I think that was my biggest connection to being a South Asian person was the dance and the music, because I don't need a routine.
Of course,
it's in me.
Yeah, you just need to feel the music and then the movement happens.
Exactly.
I mean, South Asians have been moving for a bit, so they better be getting moving.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Great. But I also think your point that you made about the area being quite like Jamaican and stuff, I think it's really great that you're bringing this South Asian energy, that's the right way to say it, to the area. Because if that's lacking, why not bring it?
Yeah, of course. And like it's still deep rooted. I mean, like that. I think, like you say, there's South Asians all over the world. There's people from all corners in every kind of section of the world. So yeah, it's good to just represent the culture, because I feel like the South Asian scene and voice has kind of been underrepresented.
Yeah.
And like I say, even just like after COVID, when people are talking more about the voice of South Asians, and now we've got so many things that are going on. Like I was just at South Bank over the weekend, and it's just like whole South Asian thing going on, and it was just so wicked to see. I'm just like, wow, this is just so interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like these people are out here, the South Asians out here, everyone's gassed because be them South Asian or not, they're here for something South Asian.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
like growing up, I don't think we'd have been able to go to a night and it being anything to do with South Asia.
Yeah, exactly. Or if it was, it would be like one of those daytime raves, like daytimers, where you'd go and it'd be only South Asians and really only South Asian people allowed in. And if you weren't a brown person, people would be a bit like, what are you doing here?
Exactly, yeah. And I think there's just like an innocence that was like kind of, people just think like, I don't know, South Asians just like yes, no, kind of like just good. But you know, there's it's all good, like there's fun, there's all sorts going on. And I think it's just
100%.
good just to represent it and just put it forward, representation, you know?
And I think we're quite like open as a culture to like welcoming people in as well.
Definitely.
You know, like one of the guests on my podcast who's coming in after this, she's a henna artist, and she is all about making that accessible to everyone that's not just South Asian.
Of course, and people love it as well. And I think that's why people like celebrate South Asian culture a lot, because be it being them or not, I think, like you said, there's always been that introduction, like a South Asian house will always be like Irish person, come over and eat.
Yeah.
And I think Irish culture, Caribbean culture, South Asian culture, they all have that. It's just like hospitable, you know?
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Our home is your home. It's like neighbours, boom. It's not this like, you know, you do you, we do us. It's like, no, come together.
Yeah, definitely. And on that note, though, how would you feel if there was a non-South Asian person owning a South Asian restaurant? Is that, do you rock with that or not?
I rock with it. I think it's cool. I think, like, again, it's just one of the, I don't know anybody else's story better than my own. And like I say, I've got, you know, staff that have worked for me that have been to India. Therefore, like, they've spent more time in India.
Right.
And for me, like, one of those things that I always try and say is, like, if I've been somewhere, then I'm that much that place. So, for example, I've lived in Venezuela for, like, 6-7 months.
Yeah.
I consider myself, to an extent, Venezuelan to an extent.
Right, yeah.
I haven't been to Asia since I was, like, 4 or 10, which are, like, for me, is, like, non-conscious ages. So people that have gone to Asia, lived there, maybe have done all sorts there, have lived the experience, they are more that than I am.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've been to South America. I feel very much like home when I talk to Latinos in Lambeth. So for me, it's just about like where you've
Latinos
been.
in Lambeth.
Yeah, big up the Latinos in Lambeth.
Nice.
Big contingency.
Yeah.
Another underrepresented gang.
And we were talking about last time when I came to see you. I can't exactly remember how it was phrased, but someone wrote something on Twitter, which was something, if I remember rightly, about, there's no Indian customers in this restaurant. It's all white people in this restaurant, or something. Was it something like that?
Something along the lines of, I've just pulled up at this new Indian takeaway in Peckham.
It's not a takeaway, by the way.
It's not a takeaway, and it's not new. And and I've walked in and there's no Indian people in here. Lol. So they haven't tried the food.
Lol.
They've just come in, made a little comment and outed. So I love the guy to just come and just eat the food. Because he's there mocking, like, we do like a jerk dosa, we do like a jerk wrap, we do all sorts of fusion stuff. Like, we are, I'm Indian by root, but we have so many things that contribute to the persona and the identity of en route. So yeah, we just can't be ignorant in these times.
I agree.
Judgment is just the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're listening to this podcast, gentleman who tweeted weirdly about en route, then you should come and have dinner with us.
Come. It's on us.
Yeah, it's on us. We'll feature you on the podcast.
Yeah.
But also something actually I really enjoyed when I ate here and got the sharing platter, me and my friend Grace. And this maybe seems like a stupid thing to say, and I'm sorry if it's a stupid thing to say. But I was like, there's avocado. And like, it's not something that you'd normally get in a menu in an Indian restaurant. And I was like, sick.
Yeah.
That's great. I love an avocado.
Of course.
But I was surprised.
Got to avocado.
Do you avocado?
Yeah.
Because I do.
Yes.
Lots of great parking in Peckham for avocados.
Yes, hold tight, all the parking in Southwark. Don't park in Lambeth.
I thought it was Southwark, for a long time.
Southwark.
Southwark.
Yeah, when people like have this thing about like how do you pronounce it, I'm like, whatever you feel's right.
Yeah, but I did say innovative for a while instead of innovative.
And then you had loads of people just, not going to correct it.
Yeah. And then for a bit, I thought Sade was called Sade.
Okay, nice. Yeah,
just outing myself on my own podcast.
Alelia.
Yeah.
I love her music, and I've played loads of her music on my radio, and I'm just there like Alelia.
Yeah.
Alelia. Still not 100% sure how to say it, but look, I back it, I support it, I represent it positively.
And it's also because we are from a culture where there's loads of names that are really difficult to pronounce.
Exactly.
I get Talina Naviede, Talina Navidi. They get the Talina bit
It's
right.
Navidad.
Navidad.
Christmas.
Talina Navidad.
Talina Navidad.
So we're going to move on to En route now.
Yeah.
So we're here, we're on site, we're on location. You've been very, very kind to let me film some episodes of the podcast here, which I'm very gassed about.
Nice.
But tell me about the start of your journey with En route. You founded it with your brother, who's 3 months older than you.
Yeah,
which
who's
is
not my brother.
Very
he's
impressive.
My cousin. So, yeah, I think...
Same thing.
Most recently, I've just been calling him my twin. I think it's just better, because he's better. He's nicer than me, so, like...
He's nicer than you. You're really nice.
Yeah, no, he's definitely nicer than me.
Really?
I'm like Shanty and anti-Shanty,
Right, okay, I've not seen...
You've probably only had the Shanty doses.
I've not seen the other side.
Ooh, anti-Shanty.
What happens?
Oh, nothing. It's just like, someone's got to lay down some laws and be a little bit like, get annoyed at things, and...
Right.
Someone's got to vent,
100%.
Whereas Harshal is just like... Well, it's harsh. He's like the harsh, but he's not harsh.
He's not harsh. He's the opposite.
He's anti-harsh.
He's not his name.
He's harshless.
He's harshless.
Harshless.
No, this
and
always
he's my
happens.
Bye. But yeah, no, we started En route in 2016. Really on a bit of a whim. Like, we basically pulled up outside Off the Cuff in Herne Hill. Big up Off the Cuff, which is just a bar. He opened up his doors at 6 a.m. We started selling smoothies and energy balls at 6 a.m. in January. We thought, let's kickstart people's new year, like healthy, wholesome me.
Yeah.
Breakfast,
new
most
year,
important.
new me,
Exactly.
January.
All of that. Lasted 3 days. He was like, right, listen, guys, I'm not waking up at this time. But then there was a lady who really loved what we were doing. She was like, guys, I've got a shop and I've got 7 children and it's around the corner and I can't really handle it. So if you guys want to take it over, do so. So,
The
En route
universe.
Brick and Mortar was born. That was 2016. 3-month pop-up. It was great. Then we had a food truck, built that in 2017. We built the hot sauce. So people were after us for like the hot sauce and then the caterings. We did a lot of festivals. And then people were like, yo, like, we can't just have this at festivals. And you lot need to keep on making that sauce because you stopped making the sauce. And
we need the sauce.
Yeah. Sauce is just an essential part of life, because everything's coming too bland these days.
100% need sauce.
So, yeah, and then 2019, built a shop in Clapham. That's still there now. So we got Clapham. That was 2019. Then Peckham, we've been here since summer 2021. And then we've been in the Ritzy at the cinema in Brixton.
Which is so cool. Can I just say, I will repeat this story for the listeners because Nish already knows this story. But I was at drama school in Brixton. It's moved campus now to Wood Green. If anyone wants to stalk me, I'm there a lot. And I went to the Ritzy to watch this movie, which was about a Pakistani man who was kind of fell in love with a trans man who was transitioning, a trans woman. Anyway, and it was amazing. It was an amazing film. But I went to eat there afterwards with my friend Des, and I remember being like, wow, I'm so surprised they've got this like South Asian fusion food here. This is great. And then it was you.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Love that. Yeah, the Ritzy's just been a good one. Obviously, like, in terms of Brixton, it's such an iconic venue, like, iconic space. So it's just nice to represent Asian there and represent the root and represent vegan there, to be honest. And we've been there since like November 2022, just signed for another year there. So all things forwards ever, backwards never. How
did you get that opportunity at the Ritzy?
They actually approached us.
Love that.
I think it was kind of like, just after COVID, when everything was kind of rebuilding, they wanted to kind of improve their like brand image, and obviously it's a good thing to work with like locals. I think with regards to like the food scene in around South, like En Route's probably like the most local, independent, like power moving food thing going on, if I can say so myself.
Yeah,
and,
you should.
Yeah, and they liked it, they digged it. The owner, Claire, loved what we were about, loved our food, and yeah, it's just been going forwards with it, and we're just like slowly kind of putting our stamp in the place more and more, and making it kind of a community wholesome feel. And yeah, we've got like a Beats and Roots night there on a Thursday last of the month. So yeah, we're just doing what we can there.
Yeah, and it's also, I love that you guys are at the festivals as well, because there's not enough South Asian food trucks at the festivals or coffee stands.
Yeah.
There's not enough
we
of
serve
either.
coffee at festivals,
No.
but you're just, you get a
That's
coconut
just-
from us.
That we'll get a coconut or a little
coconut
spicy
over
something
coffee all
coconut or like a naughty chai.
Yeah.
But
Tequila,
also for me,
tequila.
I need a coffee at a festival. There's
Yeah.
only ever one coffee truck. There's
Yeah.
never any South Asian restaurants, not restaurants, trucks. at a
Yeah,
festival.
true. There's not many food trucks these days, to be honest.
No.
No
No one's eating.
Yeah, no one's eating. Yeah, but big up the festivals. Like, yeah, I mean, it's been a big kind of like avenue for us to like grow, and you know, especially in like the music scene, like people just love what we do, and
Yeah.
I think that's why I love working with music and food, because music people get the value of food, and food people get the love of music. So it just kind of works, you know, good food, good music.
The food together and the music is just like, it is such a beautiful combination. Like I remember you were telling me you did an event here with Green Tea Peng. And did you do like some kind of green tea food themed thing, or what was
If I
it?
can remember it right, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's like the Green Tea Peng's Green Tea Party. That sounded easier than it was.
Green Tea Peng's Green Tea Party.
Yeah, so there was loads of green tea all over the place, because obviously you can't have green tea without loads of green tea. Big up Green Tea, because, you know, she cooks dang food.
Does she?
Beetroot, 3 courses, beetroot curry, slap silly. Beetroot curry, exactly, yeah. And beetroot pakoras and beetroot brownie. Like, yeah, it slapped. And yeah, that was a really nice vibe here in Peckham. And yeah, we love doing supper clubs with artists, because for a lot of artists and music, like, it's part of another creation, you know? It's like something to conceptualize, curate, and yeah, who doesn't love like making a menu?
And Young Singh did this actually quite recently, well, not recently, I think towards the end of last year-ish, where he did a night where he was DJing and he had a lineup of DJs, and he paired that with a menu. I don't know if it was like a South Asian or Punjabi inspired menu. I can't remember, but I was just like, that is so cool, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it's a great thing to be able to do.
I think, yeah, the two go hand in hand, and especially from a South Asian kind of perspective, like, people obviously have always eaten food and played music at the same time, so kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's just a normal thing really for
Normal
us, isn't
thing.
it?
Yeah, we don't need to think about it.
So on the sort of path of inclusivity and community, I think that sometimes certain cultures can be quite intimidating to other people. Like if you don't feel like you know enough about them. I even find my own culture intimidating at times, because I feel like I don't have the knowledge, if someone asks me a question, to be able to, you know, say, oh yeah, I know all this about South Asian food, or I only made my first curry when I was 27, which is a bit
Nice.
bit
It was the first time
embarrassing.
for everything, and 27 is quite a nice number.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good time. It was a good time.
It was a good curry, though.
It was a good curry. I still make it now. It's delicious, and I make it in bulk. Keep the rest in the freezer. But anyway, we don't
Bulk
need
from
to...
when you were 27. Boom. Still banging them out the freezer.
Banging them out the freezer. Yeah, it's still in there.
It was great.
It's great. Still going. Still dining off that. But here at En Route, and in general, how do you think you can create an inclusive community?
I think we're just inclusive by the fact that people walk in here from any kind of background and feel at home. Like I say, you know, be it, like I say, Latinos in another area or Caribbeans, they'll come in here, or just like, you know, people, for English folk from in and around, like people can just all find a home here. And we're pretty like just all accepting. I think my notion, and just generally with En Route, as long as you're not looking to do something offensively, then you don't need to worry about what you're doing. So, you know, if people ask, like, oh, can we be on a laptop in here? We're like, yeah, you can be on a laptop in here, do your thing. Like, can we bring a dog in here? By all means, bring a dog in here. The dog's not coming in here to, like, bark at people or, you know...
Eat the food.
Or eat the food.
Well, no, but like from the plate.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Not sit on the chair and all that. But,
Yeah.
by and large, you know, like if we try and create that environment where people feel comfortable to be themselves, they should in hand take that as an acknowledgement of like, yeah, I'll do what I want, but I want to do that with my conscience in kind of instead, you know, like I'm going to do the right thing and I'm not going to offend, because I think that's just where problems lie, where people make rules. Then when people make rules, then we break them, and then all sorts of things happen.
That's true, though. It's so true. It's like, for example, take Dry January. I actually am really proud of myself because I did 5 weeks in January.
Wow, there's not even 5 weeks in January.
I know.
Smashed it.
Right? I made February or something, an extra bit of January.
Nice.
But I normally find it difficult because I'm like, oh, well, I can't do it, so I want to do it more. You know, that thing. So it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. I think, rules, it's just one of those things. They're good to have because it's just like, it puts you into like a stead of a meditation of sorts, you know, like puts you into a focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as, you know, you say to a kid, like, don't touch this.
They want to touch it.
Ugh. Whereas if you didn't even mention it, it's not even in their mind. They're not going to touch it.
So true.
But like, obviously, yeah, I think in the Western world, we just have loads of rules. Whereas I'm sure in Eastern philosophy, there's not rules. It's just like, you know, there's no thank yous, there's no pleases. In like South Asian terminology, I know in Gujarati, there's nothing to say thank you or please. So those formalities, it's a given. You know what I mean? By giving you a gesture, it's, you know, with thanks.
Yeah.
By taking something, it's a given that there's a please involved, you know?
Yeah.
And the gratitude, it's just like a given gratitude. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
And I think also, like, when you've come from struggle, right, and as a culture, we have, it's everything is with gratitude. You know, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful to have a roof over my head, or I'm so grateful to have come to the UK with £18 and now like have a home and have children and be, you know, succeeding in whatever way success is measured for you. I think it's inherent in us.
Yeah, no doubt.
And also fight or flight mode.
Yeah, of course.
My dad is in fight or flight mode constantly.
And even when they're still comfortable, they're still got to be in fight or flight mode. Yeah, of course.
Need to have something to worry about.
Of course, yeah.
And from the perspective of the menu, I know we've touched on it a little bit, but making it vegan, why? What was that choice?
I think that was kind of a realization for me, like just like having again like gone to university, like also just traveling in so many corners of the earth, like especially when I was living in like Guyana and things, like you just realize the accessibility of seeing things. Like I see fruits and veg coming into places, and I think it's just like an understanding that people like kind of be it what it may, like people are just going to understand this as a reality, and it just makes sense. For me, things just make sense. For me, it just makes sense not to commit like a crime of cruelty.
Yeah.
Like, why would I kill to eat something? It doesn't make sense for me. Just harm doesn't make sense to me. If you look at any culture of faith, you know, look at the 10 Commandments, like, I don't know, just do not kill.
Yeah.
Be it human or not. I mean, I just wouldn't have the ability to kill an animal to justify putting it on a plate, whereas I'd be more than happy to climb up a coconut tree and pick a coconut or plant some vegetables and pick up a potato.
Can you climb a tree?
I can climb a coconut tree, yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Damn it, I wish we had like one here and you could just climb it. That'd be great.
Yeah, Peckham Palms.
They have coconuts in
Yeah,
Peckham?
loads of coconuts in
Shut
Peckham.
up, you joking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Heard it here
The temperatures are getting there. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like vegan just makes sense. Plants are kind of something that I think on a health base. For me, veganism, the way I got into it was a health perspective.
Yeah.
I just kind of did my readings, my learnings, my educations, and a lot of things that I've been consuming in terms of like music and like reading were just all orientating towards like, why would you deal with bones and blood and dairy, these things that are not made for us, especially like South Asians. Like they say 74% of like world populace are like in some sort of way dairy intolerant. Then that numbers go up between like Africans and Caribbeans and South Asians up to like 80s, 90%. And obviously our bodies are such incredible things that you give them bullshit, they get used to it. I don't know if we're allowed to.
Yeah, you can swear.
So, when I was a kid, I was having like a pint of that dairy milk and thought it was great, but I was a kid, I was ignorant and it felt bliss, but and the body adapts. But Yeah, I think it's just an education thing. I think it makes sense. It's what the planet needs. It's what the people need. Plants power people. The planet is full of plants, and the animals need to be freed from the zoo and freed from these like shackles that by reasons that they're not allowed to live. It just doesn't make sense to me. So little by little, I think, what we're doing at En route and kind of having that vegan element, it just facilitates the decision, because like curries, dals, all of the things that are South Asian food, it's easy for a dal to be vegan versus not. I mean, a little bit of ghee, what would have been, we can replace that with coconut oil or whatever oil. It's not hard to kind of...
I think like when you try your food here, which everyone should do, by the way, I think it also opens your eyes to the fact that, this vegan South Asian stuff tastes good,
I think, especially like desi food, like I'm sure people have been going to curry houses for days and days and days, and regardless of it being labelled vegan, they've probably always had a sagaloo. Like, you can't go wrong with a sagaloo. Like, dal, everyone's probably been eating dal since day dot. And like, I think it's been a blessing to be in like the UK, where you don't need to compute to someone like, this is dal. They know what dal is.
Yeah,
people
they do,
know what dal is since like the 50s, what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold tight, the curry houses that started open up after the pubs closed their license, and then you had a 2 a.m. license, so then people could carry on drinking and eat a curry and sober up and eat spicy, and just big up Britain for accommodating
I love it when a curry
spice.
house is open until 2 a.m. You've been out on a night out and you're like, wouldn't that be delicious?
That's the golden arches.
Yeah, it is. That is how the golden arches should be.
Exactly.
Raja bonnet sauce. Before we move on into the not final section, because the final section is going to be a little something, because I want to talk about Brixton Radio briefly, but tell us about this iconic Raja bonnet sauce, because that has been a massive part of your success story, I'd say.
Yeah, it's been a kind of just an avenue that has kind of built upon itself. We originally started making food too spicy for people, and then we were like, right, let's just make a hot sauce instead, and we made the hot sauce, and people love it, and people have been loving it, and we get messages like someone would be in like Coachella in America and be like, yo, I'm just on this tour bus and I've got this like Raja bonnet, and it's like so tasty, and I'm like, how is the Raja bonnet in a tour bus in Coachella? And then like, that's a link through Gorillas, and like, Gorillas are big, they love the sauce, and they go all across the world. They do a tour in South America, and then like Damon Allman's like, yo, like Nish, I need like sauce.
Shut up.
I'm like, why are you?
That's so sick. I love the Gorillas.
Yeah, and like I'm like, South America has hella sauce. They had banging flavors, and they're like, yeah, but it's not Raja bonnet. Like it's South Indian creation of international inspiration was like the kind of voice behind the sauce. I don't think
it's got so many rhymes just came out.
Yeah, we just love it. Too much sauce without sauce in the sauce. Raja bonnet's been a good thing. I mean, like it kind of encapsulates what En route's about, which is like we're Indian inspired. We're born in Brixton. Like obviously Scotch bonnet sauce and pepper sauce is obviously orientated towards the Caribbean. I don't really think in South Asia we have sauces. We just have fresh chili. Yeah. But people like, it's good to add sauce.
I love a sauce.
And we're in Britain and food is damn bland, so you gotta add something to it, and flavor is what it needs. And Raja bonnet's been a good addition to most meals. Bang it on your avocado. If you eat eggs and you want to orientate that way, slap it on your eggs. It slaps on eggs. If you eat fish, it slaps with fish.
Slap it on your fish. Why is it called Raja bonnet?
Because Raja I am a descendant of Raja. I am Nishant Barish Banji Kesh of Raja. And so he was like a man he was like the first entrepreneurial man in our lineage. And I found out that he took us out of poverty.
Right, okay,
but then he put us back into it.
Okay.
So, 360, you got to do the full circle. That's why a little dedication to him. I'm like kind of very much like recognized as him amongst my family. And bonnet, because we use Scotch bonnet, and that's like our fruity. We do a Scotch bonnet challenge, like eat a whole Scotch bonnet, get a free bottle of sauce. That's just during October.
Oof.
Scotchtober. Come on. If you back yourself with the spice, come on down, eat a Scotch bonnet, get a free bottle of sauce. It's worth the while. We've had a lot of fun.
A little bit of advertising there, of a Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, and if you're not a fan of chili, then just like get on the journey, because like it's only going to make life better. spice is good for you. It's good for your heart, your soul. It's good for your happiness. Like, it's good for your illness. Yeah, just big up Scotch bonnet every time.
Big up Scotch bonnet. Can I just say one thing about the sauces? My mum called me the other day and she was like, my grandpa, big up Peter.
Yes.
He had a banana bread and he added mayonnaise to it. And I literally thought it was going to be sick when she told me that. He puts mayonnaise on everything.
Yeah.
I was like, banana bread?
Yeah.
That's bizarre. She was like, Dad, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And he was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
He's like, you know, he's all mentally stable. He's not losing marbles a little bit.
Yeah, he's fine. He's great.
But
Driving around.
Big it up. You know, I'm all for like putting things together.
Being experimental with your sauces.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I just put peanut butter with everything.
Yeah.
Literally
so
anything.
Good. It's amazing.
It's just anything.
It's so brilliant. Have any like really odd combinations with peanut butter you've done?
I just don't think it goes. I don't think it's okay to say it's odd when it goes with peanut butter. I put peanut butter in like my hot chocolate. I put peanut butter in a curry. I put peanut butter in. Yeah, literally anything. Anything goes.
You put it on your body.
I put it on my body. Forget the shea butter, peanut butter.
So finally, Brixton Radio.
Yeah.
You founded Brixton Radio. You're one of the founders.
No.
of Brixton Radio.
I'm not one of the founders. Like, Brixton Radio was like made in a time that I was very close to. It's found by Ben, Mr. Ben.
Mr. Ben.
And
Big up Mr. Ben.
Yeah, just like helped with the start.
Yeah.
Just accommodating.
You were imperative in the initial journey of Brixton Radio. You probably yourself wouldn't say you were imperative, but I'm going to say it for you.
Yeah, why not, man? Brixton Radio, yeah, it's a joy. It's a beautiful station. It's, it's just great to kind of attach the name with an area and with a sound that kind of I orientate to. Mr. Ben, ironically, he lived at number 5 Ascot Court, which is above my shop at 5 Ascot Parade.
Okay.
So he was getting my mail, I was getting his mail. He saw my food truck and he was like, I love the food truck. Then we started conversating and then it all kind of like patterned out and we started doing the radio in the shop in Clapham.
In en route.
Sick. Yeah. We started doing the radio in his flat upstairs. Like all good radios, it's got a story. It's been here, there, everywhere. Now it's got a nice, solid foundation base on Brixton Road. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing that's been happening. And yeah, big up Brixton Radio. If you're not listening, go check it.
Yeah, definitely do. There's amazing plethora of DJs that on that radio station. So many different ones. A few of my mates as well. But why do you think community and pirate radio is so important? Because I am a huge champion for pirate and community radio. It's got me to where I'm going, essentially.
Exactly.
And it's been really imperative.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a voice, isn't it? Word, sound, and power. And I think the beautiful thing about radio and community kind of hold of it means that it's got an avenue to put things out. You know, people are used to watching their TV, which I urge people not.
No.
Just turn off your TV. Plug in on the radio, listen to something, put out by real people in and around you.
Yeah.
Because that voice is obviously going to resonate with you. So if you're in and around Brixton or you kind of want to orientate to understanding things that are being done on a local level, check in on the radio because there's truth being told. I think that's just the beauty of radio and, just giving people a voice. For me, it's just been a great outlet as well because, since having the radio, which I've had for a couple of years, it's just been a way for me to put a lot of the dialogues that I'm thinking about that I might vent in an anti-shanty way. I can put it out in a peaceful manner, and it can just come through as food for thought rather than anger.
And it provides, I think, brilliant opportunities as well for up-and-comers that don't necessarily get given a chance. Because people are constantly saying, when you've done a bit more, then we'll give you the opportunity. But how do you even get there in the first place?
Yeah, because there's no
community radio.
There's no level, whereas something that comes out consistently and it resonates, then it just builds and people build a platform and then anything's possible from a platform.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we're going to get into the final bit now, which is a little bit of my little features that I do I've done on every podcast episode in the past, but we've added something which has been inspired by you as well.
Okay, yeah.
But we're not going to do that yet because I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Yeah. First of all, not that we don't know if you ever want to have kids, how you feel about having kids, but hypothetically speaking, if you were to have kids, what is one piece of advice what is one piece of your culture that you would want to pass down to them?
Just letting them know that, like, I just let them know the journey. India is the route via East Africa and born in London. If that's the case, they might be born in Brazil, with who knows. But just get them to know the route, their own route, because I think for myself, I think for a lot of people, our generation, it's taken like so much like trauma and misunderstanding and confusion to understand what we are. And we're always like afraid of like just saying like, yo, I'm Indian. So just to understand the root, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I definitely like know where you're from.
Just know where you're from, yeah. It shouldn't be a confusion.
And then what is a confession or secret that people would expect about you considering you're South Asian?
The more time people probably regard me as Rasta than Indian. So, but little did you know that Rasta originates from Eastern philosophies and Eastern religions. So the first Rastas were long before the 1900s in Jamaica and Ethiopia. I mean, people in Varanasi have been repping the beautiful roots for 6,000 years. So, that's probably one identity crisis that I go on and get perceived as ongoingly. But remember the root and big up the roots.
Oh, we're here to educate you, you know.
Education is the key.
So it is time to rap.
Yes.
So this was your idea, and it's a brilliant idea because credit where credit's due. Basically, how this is going to work is our guest each time has to do an 8-bar rap. And I don't even know how you do an 8-bar rap, right? But you're going to show us.
I'm going to show you.
And then if it's a success, even you know, if it's not 8 bars, but if I think that it merits a rap, then you get to make an 8-ingredient rap.
Yeah.
Right?
It's 7 ingredients on the rap.
7-ingredient rap.
Well, we can add a mystery 8, why not?
Like, you could just, like, if you spit in the rap yourself, then that's 8 ingredients.
Okay, yeah, that's the 8th
No,
ingredient.
that's disgusting,
No.
That's really gross.
No
Sorry.
spit,
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, we don't
And I
spit
want
in
to
the
try out
kitchen.
something wacky. We don't spit in the kitchen.
No, absolutely not.
You can spit on it
Even if you don't
outside.
like the person.
Yeah,
never spit in their
no,
food.
that's so horrible, isn't it?
No,
When you
it's
worry, you
not-
have to
it's
worry
no.
about someone spitting in your food.
No. I
Grim.
think that's just like a myth. I'd like to think no one has ever spat in someone. Oh, they probably have.
They probably have. Gross.
have.
Anyway, so I'm gonna
Be
take
nice
3.
to the staff always in every food place.
Absolutely.
And tip.
If you go on a date with someone, right? Not that you do because you know, otherwise engaged. Not literally, by the way.
Yeah.
Then and someone is rude to the staff when you're like on a date with that person. I'm always just like, no.
Nah, it's
a
game
no.
over.
Game
It's
over.
Absolute no.
X'd.
Yeah.
So 3 words I've picked up from this interview that you have to include in the rap. 18 pounds.
Yeah.
En route and Roger.
Okay.
You've got to try and include this in the rap.
Okay.
Can
What,
you-
is it a freestyle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn, okay. All right.
How else are we meant to do it?
I don't know. I was expecting a little. I mean, I wrote something this morning, but
You wrote something?
Yeah.
Okay, scrap that. Let's hear what you wrote.
I thought I'd write something, but I mean,
Go on.
freestyle. Right? Can I get up and?
Yeah, you can get up
can
and
I
get
in
it.
and out? Is
That's
that
all right. All right, so Nish is going to do a rap, and then he is going to make a rap, and then he is going to magically provide the rap. Ready?
Rap.
Rap.
8-bar rap. So this is written this morning. When it comes to a rap made by En route, no doubt on the goodness, cause we cooking up with truth. Fruits and roots making plant power to devour. No bones, no blood in the kitchen, cause that will turn you sour. Rainbow salad, root hummus and coca raita. Dal for a deli boy, tandoori falafel, I do rate ya. Got to avocado and I've got to fire. Fill it, bill it, grill it. Take me nutritionally higher.
You. And magically,
Wow.
here's this beautiful rap. Look at all the colours. Look at all the. Should we name it?
You name it.
Fill it, bill it.
Oh yeah, fill it, bill it, grill it.
This is the fill it, bill it, grill it rap.
Yes. Sounds good, because fill it is like fill it.
And we're going to try it now.
No, fill it. Yeah, you go for it.
Are you not going to try it?
Yeah, I'm going to try it as well, but I'm going to try the messy half. You have the plate.
Let's
I've got mine.
cheers.
Cheers.
Like rap cheers.
Fill it, bill it, grill it.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Ooh, 2 bites, yeah? Love it.
It's delicious. Thank you so much for tuning in to South Asian Overground.
Peace and peas.
Peas and peas.